So this first question is on differential scanning calorimetry, and I'm going to go to one of the documents on Moodle to show you the schematic of a differential scanning calorimeter. So this image shows that in this particular device you have a sample and a reference, and both of these have attached to them a heating device as well as a thermocouple, and the thermocouple is connected to a series of electronics that allows you to track the difference in temperature. And the power is adjusted in order to keep the temperatures constant. And so what you see here in this graph is an idealized version of the output, which is the heat flux versus time. Where you see on this output graph that the line, the output deviates from a line, it's an indication that the amount of heat going into the sample is being adjusted so that the temperature of the sample and the temperature of the reference are equivalent. So what happens in this DSC is you actually scan through time and temperature, and you measure the differential in the calorimetric energy required to keep the temperatures equivalent as you scan through time and temperature. So this time, so you see on this axis time and temperature, and basically you're heating these up at a rate and then cooling down at a different rate. And while you're doing that, you're trying to maintain the temperature of the sample and reference as equal through adjusting the amount of heat that goes into the sample. So this deviation from a line indicates that in this case more heat is required to flow into the sample in order to keep the temperature equivalent to the reference. So this kind of bump right here indicates a change in heat capacity, or the delta H per delta T. And then right here, this sort of feature right here indicates that there's a lot more heat required in order to keep the temperature of the sample the same. So in other words, the sample is actually absorbing heat in order to keep the temperature equivalent to the reference. So this is an indication of a endothermic event, and this one right here, where less heat flux is required relative to the sample, is an indication of an exothermic event. So these are idealized versions of the output from DSC.